Welcome back. We are here at the final section of this. I was able to get a lot of work done earlier, so everything in DaVinci Resolve is done. We're on the final section, which is Capcut, which is probably going to take me probably 2 days. So the main thing we're going to be doing is the final effects, adding fluff to this. This file that I have up right now, it's the raw file. I still got to go over grammatical errors, but I was like, you know what? Let's just get the effects started. When I'm done actually doing my final checks, I'll bring the updated file over here. So, but as mentioned, we are in the final portion of this. Let's get to it. I got about 45 minutes worth of work time, and the video itself is going to be about an hour and 10 minutes. Okay, let's do this. Where do I want to start? Also, while I think, let's listen to some music. I'm using this specific version of Capcut because Capcut, I'm not saying, oh, 1 second, loud. I'm not saying Capcut is bad. Let's just say future updates are behind a paywall, which is pretty annoying. So I'm using version 1.05. Just be very careful because Capcut does like to update. And if you start a project in an older version of Capcut, you won't be able to load it up in a newer version. So be very, very careful. Anyways, let's get to it. So what I'm going to do, the main action sequences, I'll add effects to them. I don't think we need to do anything here. Let's see. Here we might add a camera shake. Yeah, definitely right there. We're gonna add a camera shake. Right there. Cut right here. Cut it. Then as soon as she does the final God press, we'll add we'll end the shake. So right here, 420. All right. This is definitely gonna be the fun part because you were to see the fruits of our efforts. Let's make sure this is actually good. Cut, split it right there. Perfect. All right, we go to effects. This is probably gonna be under video effects. Let's see. Do we want to add a pulse to this? No. We want to make sure it's tasteful. Like a little bit too much does not help. So for now, we'll add... Let's try Astral for now. Okay. So as soon as the first God press hits, right here, let's add this right there. And we'll stop it right there. We'll cut this. Perfect. Next, let's grab it. So we'll wait till Minority slams me into the next one, which is going to be right here. And this should end right there. We'll wait till the purple's gone. So right here. We're going to cut that. Then we'll grab the next section, which should end... Well, it starts right here. We have to stop it right as soon as the grace ends. Right there. Alright, so that should be good. So let's get rid of this. Let's see how this looks. Also, be very careful with CapCut, because CapCut likes to dox you. I got rid of it, but the right side of it, the detail section, does give away your PC's information. So be very, very careful if you're going to be streaming this. All right, let's take a look. Sorry for how loud that's going to be. I do not know what the volume is, so this might be very loud, but pay attention to when Minardi hits the God press. You should see an after image effect. Perfect. It's not as fuck. All right, next. I think this looks cool, pun intended. So we might add something here. No. Actually, no. I think it's too quick. It's too quick. We might add something to the ice spear, though. All right, let's see. Probably not. We'll come back to that. Let's see. I want a camera shake right here, definitely. Also, shoutouts to the Phoenix. He's the true hero. So as soon as this should show up right here. I like the camera shake here better. Hold on. Let's cut this right here. Cut. End it right there. Cut. It's so annoying. But like I told you guys before, with Adobe Animate, you have to be very, very, very careful. Adobe Animate can be very annoying. All right, let's see. Let's try a regular camera shake and see how it looks. It's not intense enough. Let's do this shake. Nope, way too intense. This is if you want to be super extra. And I do admit that is actually really pretty. Let's try Astral. Astral and rebounding might actually do good here. I might actually extend this a little bit more. Right there. That sucks because they actually need to do that cut over there. That was good. You feel the impact, especially with Mia's buff over there. Perfect. You don't need to add anything else over there. Do I want to be cute with this? I might add a motion blur to this. And again, like I said before, I'm using Capcut version 1.05. That's the one that gives you all the effects. Unfortunately, future versions do get rid of all the good effects and they hide it behind a paywall. If you're going to use this, I do recommend that you be very careful because Capcut loves to do snipe updates. If you save this on an older version and it updates and you open your file, you will not be able to open up that file. Ask me how I know. This sequence does look a little stiff. So I might add an edge glow right here. As soon as the buff happens, let's go with the edge glow. Right. If I commit, it has to end right there. So as soon as she appears, that's when it has to stop. So she appears on that frame. Perfect. All right, I'm gonna pause the music. We're gonna play out what we have, and hopefully this looks good so far. All right. Hey, what's up? All right, what's going on, dude? Remember, I still literally am working on one screen right now. So comments, I have to actually manually go to OBS and actually see if anybody comments. But yeah, like this is a thing. This actually is a thing. So with CapCut version 1.0, well, CapCut, it's annoying. It has the greatest effects imaginable, but as soon as it updates, your entire project is cooked because you're saved on a previous version. You are completely locked out of that project. So you have to start over from scratch. You have to be very, 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 very careful. So I love CapCut just because it gives me all the cool stuff, but I have to be very careful. I have to be very, 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 very careful. Because right now, this is done. Like, besides the grammatical errors that I gotta fix later on, I downloaded the raw file. When I get to work later, I'm gonna actually go over the whole entire thing. I'm just setting up the effects now, so when I get back later, I can just drop the latest updated version into this. So that's why I'm starting it right now. But yeah, CapCut, oh boy. CapCut does, it ruins my night. It does. But for the most part, I'm adding the effects that I'm adding are just for the fight sequences. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go over it one more time just to make sure everything's fine and dandy. This is gonna be very loud.
行くんだくらえ
Perfect. Edge glow is great for this because it masks when she actually appears. So as soon as we see the white on minority, that's when the effects end. That's actually really good. All right, perfect. As soon as I get back, I'm getting another monitor. I got 25 more days here. All right, so this is fine. So what do we want to do? With the explosion, I definitely want pulse. So as soon as this happens, we gotta be very careful right here. So right here, we want a little tiny pulse. Okay. Let's put that right here. Then when she falls. I wonder, what do I want to do here? What do I want to do here? This is a very quick effect. This has to end right here. Right there. All right, let's take a look. I will never be old. All right. Flashbacks. Flashbacks. I don't think I need to do anything with these. Like, these are fine. I think it's hearts that we have to actually do stuff with. Yeah, it's parts definitely we have to do a lot of crap with, unfortunately. All right. All right. So here we might have to add some camera shakes. Nothing too intense, but just the fact that we just have this static motion not doing anything is still kind of bad. But this has to be very light because we don't want the text box shaking that much so people can actually read what the hell's going on. Okay. So next, right here. There we go. So let's see how this. We don't want to add a major camera shake. So I think vanilla camera shake should be fine here. Let's see. Oh, all right. As soon as we're done with this, I'll actually show you something with the fight sequence because we introduced a funny concept. All right. So this is fine, but we're gonna put the intensity down a little bit. So right there. Fuck. So as I mentioned before, unfortunately, this program has a very bad. It has a very bad gimmick where under the inspector tab where you make all your adjustments, if you're not careful, it'll give out all your PC's information. So you are doxing the living daylights out of yourself. So for me to make adjustments, I have to actually make it off screen. So give me a moment while I put the intensity down on this. That is so annoying that it does that. So we're gonna bring down the range. We're gonna put it on 5, and we're gonna bring down the speed over to 20, and we'll see how this looks. That's not that bad. It's not bad. I think we need to put it down a little tiny bit more. We'll put it on both on 5s. I can still do more with this. No, the pulsing's too much. See, you would get motion sickness immediately with that. Yeah, it's literally self-doxing. So on the inspector tab, for me to actually change this, I have to actually go into the inspector tab. It'll dox the living daylights out of me, and I have to manually click effects in order for me to change this. It's so annoying. All right, let's see how this is. That's not that bad. Okay, that's good. Who the fuck? All right, give me 1 second. I gotta answer this phone call. Sorry about that. Work calls. Work does call. So I had to answer that, but it's all good. I'm back. All right. What were we doing? Oh, okay. All right. So we're gonna go over one thing real quick. So I think I'm probably gonna make this 5 across the board with this. But yes, Capcut does have a self-doxing feature. Just be very, very careful of that. And it's one of the most important sections too, which is terrible. Very, very terrible. Okay. Anyways. So for the next 15 minutes, we're going to all go over Karis' section. Because Karis' section is going to be a very, very important section. Extremely important section. Okay, let's see. So we'll do it right here. It's going to be very, very entertaining. This may change. I'm probably going to add an effect here. I'm just trying to see where. We're going to have to add the black and white feature soon. I think what I'm going to do, as soon as he says hello heart, we're going to have the pulse happen. Or astral. Give it a sec. Right there. Perfect. We'll just add a pulse. I think that should be good. We need to have an impact on that. Not that much. That's a little bit too much. I think 1 should be fine. So as soon as the first one hits, which is right there, we'll have it pulse once. Boom. There we go. So we'll end it right there. Let's see how this looks. Okay. So usually with the flashback sequences with her, I have the grainy effect. So I can actually find it. So we're going to put a vignette on this. We're going to drag the vignette. Actually, before we even do that, we need to make sure this is frame perfect. So it has to be right here. As soon as we see her face swap, we have to cut it. But that's actually pretty fast. Okay, right there. So we're going to cut it. Now we're going to go where the cutscene ends, which should be right here. Also, Karis's very, very angry neutral face is going to live rent-free in my dome because that just made her super scary for some odd reason. Okay, right there. So we have to add a vignette to this. We're going to drag the vignette, put it right on top. I need film. Film. And like I mentioned before, unfortunately with this specific version of CapCut has all the cool effects. The higher you go up with the updates, the less effects you have. So just be very, very, very careful with the version you choose. I will probably have to add, let's see, lens, not light effects. It's going to be all the way at the bottom. Okay, perfect. I think her specific one that I used was definitely noise. And now we got to put retro. Not glitching. Crap. Which one was it again? It wasn't this one. Damn. Yeah, you're not wrong there. I made her expression like extremely like angry. But it took a while. All right, I can't waste time. I'll find the rest of that later. But as mentioned before, this is all Dark Dawn, besides the parentheses. Because unfortunately, I do gotta go to work, so I have about like 25 minutes of work time right now. So we're just gonna go over some things just to make sure everything's fine and dandy, which should be good. I think it should be good. All right. We definitely had them bickering for a little bit. I had Karis throw some shade at Dark Dawn unintentionally. No, it was totally intentional. All right. We're being quiet and like not talkative definitely helps sell this. Which is true. If you really think about it, Blotto's Chalice, Heartspade, if they really wanted to be effective, they would just taken them out instantly. But they did need they served a purpose. They needed them to do things that they could not do for some odd reason. I'm pretty sure they would have been fine going through setting up the alchemy machine, doing all the stuff that they did with Matthew and pals. I'm pretty sure they could have did relatively easy, but nope. We definitely had to put emphasis on that. I threw my own shade at Dark Dawn right now. Could have made that mugshot so much better. I might fix it when I get the chance. So much resentment right now. With that insult is being a little cute with that one. This attack, I'm definitely gonna put an effect on it. Because it feels kind of bland. Dark.
はあバカな
Bakuga means impossible, or no way. Adding the invert right there definitely puts emphasis on the pain aspect. With this next sequence, I think I'm definitely pushing it. No, it's fine. It's fine. I have the raws that I was going over with later. So what's in here right now is not the final thing. That's why I have the raw. As soon as I go to work, I'm gonna rewatch this and make sure no crazy grammatical stuff is going on. Because I already had to fix a few things here and there. But that's good. You look like you're in pain. Should be you look like you're in pain. Yep. But I definitely was pushing it with this sequence. I think the biggest problem I had with this was just coming up with a story for how Dark Dawn ended, because we all know how bad Dark Dawn's ending was. As soon as Volchek did the sacrifice, it's like that was it. Like he did the sacrifice, and we just magically end up at Belinsk. We don't know what happened to Hard Spade. Nothing was explained. It just went to, oh yeah, everything's cool. Bye, Savetta. Like, what type of ending is this? So just coming up with a scenario just that fits into what happened was kind of hard here. And again, having her just completely and utterly silent, it just shows that she's not in a happy mood. And Matt being not oblivious to it, he's just more focused on what's in front of him right now and not what's happening right next to him. Which I can see that from him and Isaac too. They have tunnel vision, is where I'm going with this. And this ties into the ending of this ties into one of Hart's flashbacks in the other video from a couple videos ago. Oh no, the internet might be dying. Give it a second. I'll pause it. The internet actually might be dying. I think the internet actually might be dying. Let's see. Give it a second. No, we're good. We're good. We're good. All right. Perfect. It's one of those weird situations where this whole internet's so bad, I have to pay attention to OBS just in case it just randomly just decides just to stop. Which has happened before. It's very, very, very annoying. And this ties in directly to that one flashback that Hart had a couple of videos ago. I'm coming for very loud anime screaming. This sequence I have to really lock in. The Song of the Nephilim really sells the sequence too, in my opinion. We're gonna go over one more section before I actually have to go to work, which is just gonna be the Mia section. Like, this is not gonna be done for the next few days because there's a lot of effects that we have to do, but not this section. We have to go over the fight sequence because we have to add a lot of effects to this. All right.
Good.
Yep.
見せてみよう。なるほど、面白い。
Really fun. Very ready, right?
Don't tell me the internet's gonna die on us at the worst possible time. Alright, we're good. Yeah, it looks like the internet might be dying on us. Now we're good, we're good. So technically at this point we have 3 Mias running around. We have regular Mia, party time Mia, this one, and this demon that just took her visage.
Sa, 無駄よ。お返しする。くれてやる。そこ。1分。まだ続くのか？無駄よ。そこ。微笑むがよい。さあ、行くぞ。慎んで。
So much shit talking happening right now.
よい。
So much shit talking. So technically, both Mias are talking right now. I was being cute with this. I would have to be very careful with this section right here. Unfortunately, it looks like the internet is actually dying on us right now. All right. So yeah, it actually does look like the internet is dying on us. So I'll come back tomorrow. We'll do some more effects. Robert, it was good seeing you. Besides that, everybody enjoyed the VODs. This should be out in the next couple of days if I really lock in. Besides that, everybody take care and enjoy the VOD. I'll see y'all tomorrow. Bye-bye. Good night, guys.